It is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. This is another edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. Big old hearty welcome to those of you that are joining us on the AMP app live. If you haven't done that before and you're just joining us on podcast form or on our YouTube channel, that's perfectly fine. We love having you. We don't care as long as you join us somewhere. But if you want to join us live, it's each and every Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern for a full hour. It's nice. We'll get to chop it up. We'll get to talk to some callers coming up in a little bit. But let us get it going with, I would say, the biggest series going in baseball. Giants in L.A. for the first of 19 meetings this season with the Dodgers. So do you think the NL West will come down to the last week of the season like it did a year ago?
I sure hope it will. We got some really good teams. I kind of was just talking about that on the AMP app. The West right now is the best division in baseball. There's only one team with a sub 500 record. That's the Arizona Diamondbacks at 11-13. Kelsey Wingert has just brought her luck to the Rockies. They got swept when she was on her bachelorette party, Chris, and then they came back, and she came back, and then they swept the Reds. So they need Kelsey to stay there if they want to be in this division.
It's cute that you're talking about Arizona and Colorado. This is cute. This is either a 2 or 3 team race, most likely a 2-team, but I could be convinced about saying
okay, hold on. It's not a 2-team race, Chris. This is 100%. Look, I get it. You know, I'm semi-joking about Kelsey's Rocks and Jake's Snakes, but this is a 3-team race. I don't care which way you want to slice it, buddy. You know, yes, the Padres had a bad collapse last year. I don't think that's going to happen again. Manny Machado is going off. He's not going to let that happen. I just talked earlier on the AMP app about how many pitchers they have. They have too many starting pitchers. They're already looking to move Lamet. They already moved Paddock. When Snell comes back, Clev is coming back too. Like, they're going to make decisions. They're going to add to this ball club. I think the Padres are going to be in there. The Giants prove that they're not a fluke. And you can't be a fluke if you win 107 games. You just can't. That's just the bottom line. And we know the Dodgers are maybe one of the better teams to ever be assembled. So, like, this is going to be a 3-team race. 100%. All
right. Well, can we agree that the Dodgers are the favorite? Do you make them the favorite?
I think so. I think they are.
Okay.
And, you know, that's just on paper, though. We got to play the games out, which is why baseball's so beautiful.
Of course it's on paper. I mean, right. But still, I have an opinion. The people listening have an opinion. I would make the Dodgers the favorite in part because they have the best record right now, don't they? Who's leading the division?
They do. Okay. I mean, they're 14-7, and the Padres are 15-8. So, like, they're half game above the Padres. I do think they're the best team on paper. I also like the eye test, best team too. There's no doubt about it. Right. But, like, baseball is crazy, dude. The Giants held them off the entire year last year, and they were definitely not better than them on paper.
But all I can say is who's the favorite. Doesn't mean who's going to win. It means who do you favor who would you make the favorite? And we both agree that it would be the Dodgers, in my opinion, because Betts, both Turners, Bellinger now has started to sink a little bit, and MUGSY all have an OPS under 725. All of them. I don't think that's going to last. Here's the facts. I was worried about their pitching coming into the season. I did not think they had enough pitching. Do you know that they have allowed a dozen fewer earned runs than anybody in the league? They've allowed 7 fewer walks than anyone in the league. They have the best whip of anybody in the league. They have the lowest batting average against of anybody in the league. And this, I thought, was actually their weak part of their team coming in.
They're by far the best pitching team in the big leagues now. You just referenced all the stats. ERA plus, I believe they're way above as well. They're just doing it on that side of the ball. And like you mentioned, there's a bunch of guys, like real deal bangers up there that I haven't even really gotten it going yet. And once that happens, it's going to be a big wave, man. And I mean, it's not like they haven't played well already. Like we said, they're the first place in the division, but this is a team that can run off like a 10, 15 game winning streak at any moment during the season.
It could. And it's why I've made them the favorite. And we don't have to say that, of course, we know anything can happen, right? We've only played 1 month. It's why there are shockers at the end of the year of teams that we thought were going to make, like we all thought the Padres were going to be right there with the Dodgers last year. They had a losing record. If you had told me that even after the first month of last season, I would have been like, you're full of shit. There's no way. But I'm just telling you, and I'm not a Dodger homer. I don't care. I don't care if it's the Padres, the Giants, or the Dodgers that are going to win this division. I don't. I want to see a 3-team race so that when we come down to September, that there's something to play for. Because let's remember, the top 2 seeds this year, they get buys. They get to stack their pitching. The other teams, if you finish as the top wild card, you have to pick your opponent, I think. Actually, the other division winner picks the opponent, and then you get stuck with whomever's left. That's going to be great, by the way.
It's going to be great. And let me answer the questions the way I want to answer the questions, bro. You're always on my case. It's really early in the morning for us here on the West Coast. You're always on my case,
I understand that. And people always are like, Rose, why do you push him? Here's why. I push him to be better. I want answers because he's a smart man. You can't say either or. Either or does not fly in my world.
Sometimes I believe a smart man does say that. I'm okay to admit that I don't know some things. And I think that is a telling trait of a smart person. Remember, I could have went to Stanford, Chris.
I know you could have. But of course we don't know. I would look in my freaking crystal ball, which is buried somewhere behind my John Boy Media 19 jersey, or my Miguel Rojas courtesy Miami City Connect jersey, which is awesome, by the way.
Let's get real. I'm the only one here on this show that has a crystal ball.
That is true.
Thank you.
That is true. By the way, so we're going to go down to the Dodgers-Giants game tonight, separate cars. And should I wear my John Boy Media jersey on the field?
I'm going to wear something John Boy-ish. I feel like we got to, be company men, not too in your face, but if you wanted to, I guess first time there, let's just come. Yeah.
Head to toe. By the way, I have the sweatpants, which are a little snug on me.
Don't wear those.
You know which ones those are? They're a little tight. They're a little
I wouldn't do that if I was you.
A little close to home. Yankees have won 10 in a row. How surprised are you a month into the season they have baseball's best record?
I'm not super surprised. I did pick them to win the division. I mean, there are some surprising things about the team. I think that, we can look at a few different things and why they have the best record. Jimmy, we all know the big Yankee dude. He's a big schedule dude as well. They've played a weak schedule. Okay. They did go into Toronto last night and get a great victory. I'm not taking anything away from them, but you have to look at all the facts.
You are.
Chris.
You just mentioned their soft schedule. You absolutely.
But I can tell you, but I'll give you other reasons as to why they're in first place. Number one, they've turned their defense completely around. And all the IKF haters out there were many of them. You're seeing what you get. Okay. He's not the only one. I think as a team, they're positive DRS for, I think they're +8 or something. They were negative last year. So that helps the pitching staff, and the pitching staff's been good. And a lot of things have gone right for the Yankees. And, I'm going to answer another question later on with the same way I'm going to answer this. It is a month into the season. I'm happy for teams that got off to good starts. I'm sad for teams that got off to bad starts, but all this does not matter. That's why we play 162. So yeah, if you're a Yankee fan, be stoked because you are seeing a change in the team. You wanted to change the team for the last 2 years. Get more athletic. Let's play better defense. You're finally getting that. Gleyber Torres has showed up. We got to mention that. So we're excited about
a couple games.
Dan's looking at me like, are you going to mention Aaron Judge, bro? Yes, I'm going to mention Aaron Judge. He's a freaking stud. I hope he gets $500 million in the offseason. Okay. Yankees are good. I'm not super surprised they have the best record in baseball. It's a good team. But it is the first month of the season. They have played a soft schedule. So let's let the season play out a little bit. Go Yankees, go. I love when New York baseball is good. Bottom line.
I am a little surprised. I'm a little surprised they're the best team in baseball record-wise at this point. I don't care about who they're playing, right? They ripped off 10 in a row. The only team they beat during that stretch with the team with a winning record was Toronto last night. I don't care about that. Everybody in your division, you play the same teams except for 6 games a year. That's it. The Yankees will play the Mets. I don't know if everybody else in that division plays the Mets this year. I forget what their division that they have to play in the other league. I don't
listen.
That stuff.
If you gave me a month into the season, if you're just looking at this sample size, a month, and you looked at Toronto's schedule versus New York's schedule, you'd be more impressed with where the Blue Jays are at than the Yankees are at.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Fine. I understand that, but this isn't college football where you make your own schedule and you're like, well, we'll schedule this team and we'll out of conference and we'll schedule.
Sure.
Like I said, that part all evens out, and not everybody, when they play 9 straight games against teams with losing records like they did with Baltimore, Kansas City, and Cleveland, will go 9-0. So I'm going to applaud them. Here's the thing that I think is really interesting. There's basically been 3 guys carrying the Yankees offensively, right? Judge, Rizzo, and LeMahieu, who's been pretty good so far through the first month. Like you mentioned, Glaber, he was dog shit until a couple games ago. He just wasn't good. He is getting it going. But my point is that it's really been this starting pitching, which we had some questions about coming in. And a guy like Michael King has been unhittable out of the bullpen. And Aroldis Chapman has not given up an earned run in his outings. Yeah, that little bit of a walk issue. But other than that, he's been really dominant. So, yeah, they've impressed me. I love it because it's going to set up the harder fall for all you Yankee fans out there.
Oh, my gosh.
The
that's
year.
brutal. That is so brutal, Rose. And I was, look at this lineup. I got 8 guys listed right here with OPS pluses over 100, bro. You can't find a lot of teams that have 8 guys down the lineup that have OPS pluses over 100. So, like, yeah, there's a couple guys who are doing better than others, but they're getting contributions from a lot of different people here. And it's great. If you're a Yankee fan, be very happy with where your team is at.
Absolutely. All I'm saying is a harder fall because I just didn't predict you to go to the World Series. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right. I've only hit it.
Did you predict them to win the East?
No. I predicted the team that they're playing right now to win the East. That's what I predicted. But I think it'll be but I did put the Yankees in the playoffs. You don't care. All right, so we're a month into the baseball season. You know what that means? Freshly manicured lawn. Not talking about your favorite baseball stadium. I'm talking about yourself, dude. South of the equator. Let Manscaped take care of you. If you go to manscaped.com, use the code baseball today, you're going to get 20% off and free shipping. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code word baseball today. So I want you to follow these instructions. Step 1, grab your handy dandy lawnmower 4.0. It is a great one. I used it before my trip to Cabo. I'm telling you, I was feeling fresh, feeling clean. It's the ultra smooth package. Step 2, the crop exfoliator, infused with ingredients that soothe, clear, and keep the skin around that special sensitive area feeling refreshed. Step 3, the crop gel. See where you're shaving with our unique clear shaving gel just for the groin area. And step 4, it's time to shave. The crop shaver was designed for shaving the groin area with supreme confidence. So if you can follow instructions, it'll be very simple. Go to manscaped.com, code word baseball today, 20% off your offer and free shipping. Believe me, you'll be feeling silky smooth, and that someone special in your life will say, dude, I love you.
I don't care.
Boston, already 8 back through a month. 8 back. Slow start on offense. You worried about that side of the baseball, or are they just pacing themselves, Sergeant?
Yeah, look, I think that they're going to come around. This is not a team and an offense that you want to give up on. And I think if you do give up on players like they have, like established veteran ball players in their lineup after a month, you're silly. And I don't think anybody's doing that. You know, you can't evaluate someone after however many at-bats you're going to get, 30, 40 at-bats, 50 at-bats. Like, that's not how you do things. I think this offense will come around. I don't think we're going to be seeing a bottom of the barrel Red Sox team. But it's surprising, and it's not fun if you are a Red Sox fan. You know, I think right now you're just kind of like, let's forget about April and move on. At least that's what I would do if I was a Red Sox fan. You know, the bullpen. I read an article about Heim talking about, you know, the bullpen, and a lot of people have seen some games where they've given it up. But overall, they haven't been that bad. They've just been put into situations where it's like very, very close games all the time. So any mistake, like they have zero breathing room. So any mistake gets magnified. I don't think that's going to be that way for you know, the entirety of the season. I do believe the offense wakes up. I referenced this on the show before. Will Middlebrooks keeps texting me about how good this team is. They have you know, X amount of hard hit balls that haven't fall, whatever. So it'll come back to life. I believe they'll be in the race for the AL East. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm thinking about like the starting pitching, and they found some guys like Walker's been good. Like, they've had some bright spots throughout the season, just haven't like put it all together enough. But I said it with the Yankees about a month. I don't think a month means anything. So if you're a Red Sox fan, do not give up on this team just yet because there's a lot of baseball left.
Here's where it does mean something. When you have those wins, you put them in, they can't take them away from you. So if you're acting like wins in April and May don't mean anything, they do. They mean something. And go ask the Red Sox if a game that they won last year on May 7th or whatever mattered to them the last day of the season when they held off the Toronto Blue Jays. It does matter. That stuff does matter. It doesn't mean that you can't turn it around. You can. I mean, that's what averages are all about, right? You could hit 200 one month, 400 the next month, and that makes you a 300 hitter. We understand all that. But the point is that so far through a month of the season, they have gotten below average performances offensively from their catcher, their starting right fielder, their first baseman, and their second baseman, whom they paid $140 million to. So basically, anything to the right side of the infield has stunk to this point. That's not being mean. That is being 100% factual. They have combined for 2 homers so far. 2 freaking homers in 4 weeks. That's not good enough. They are 5-11 in this division. They have played every team at least once. 5-11 ain't going to cut it in this division because the problem is when it's one thing to be 8 games back and feel like you only have to leapfrog one team that's really good. There's 3 other teams in this division that are outstanding, in my opinion. You've got the Yankees, you've got the Toronto, and you got Tampa Bay, which knows how to win. The Red Sox have got to be really careful right now.
Yeah, look, I understand. This is why our show is so good because we have completely different perspectives on stuff like this. Me, I put all the failure. Don't even think about it. I'm thinking about full season. You can next game. I referenced the 1-run games. They played 9 1-run games already. They're 3-6. They've only played 23 games. So about 40% of their games have been 1-run games. So just you flip a few of those, you get, the ball bouncing your way. Things are completely different. If we're talking about a 12-11 or an 11-12 Red Sox team, it's the conversation is completely different. That's why I'm like,
but we're not.
April doesn't matter. Like, I understand all the wins get counted up at the end of the season, but like, there's so much baseball left to play. You can't think about it like that. You have to just say onward, bro. We're going to be fine.
And that's the difference. You have to think about it as a player. It's the reason you made it to the major leagues. It's the reason you were successful. It's the difference between you having an almost 10-year career and guys never making it out of double or triple A because they weren't able to compartmentalize. And I respect it. This is why I respect baseball players as much as any athletes out there, because you have to learn to deal with failure, to flip the page so that you can get that positive run. I'm just looking at it as a fan. Very few fans have the ability to say, yep, well, if we just turned a few of those 1-run games around, I deal in facts, dude. The fact is they haven't. So I can't say if they were 11-12, we'd be talking about them that way because we're not. They didn't win those games.
100%. I read an article this morning in the Boston Globe, Chaim Bloom talking about the start to the season. And he's saying, like, obviously we don't like what we've done. Our performance has been subpar. Are we going to panic? No. Are we going to call up our prospects because of our win-loss record in April? No. He believes in the roster. He believes over time, things will play out. They'll regress towards the mean and we'll get back to where they believe their roster should be. And I think it's a smart way to think about things. I understand fans can get very emotional with wins and losses and they want guys to come up and they always think, oh man, we got this top prospect. He's going to come up. He's going to save our team. Bullshit.
Never happened.
Very
Never
few
happened.
of these guys come up and save your team.
Never.
Jeremy Pena, fucking shout out you because you're doing it with the Astros. A lot of these guys, it's very tough to come up and do it. So be careful with what you wish for. Like, let's just talk about the guys they have. And yes, they've only hit 13 homers as a team. That is not the kind of offense that they, believe that they have. So the power has got to come, and I believe it will. I still like the Red Sox.
Yeah, I'd like to make it a 4-team race. That was a blast last year when there were 4 teams in it until the last day of the year. Once again, I'm not rooting against anybody. I'm just spitting facts. Whatever. You know what I'm here to tell you about? My friends over at MUGSY Jeans. Head on over to MUGSY.com. Code word today. You get 10% off your entire order. Yes, I have told you how much my wife, Michelle, loves the MUGSY jeans that I ordered. because you know what? I went out of my comfort zone. I didn't get bluer, bluest. If you're traditionalists, it's fine. They've got those. I went charcoal gray. They look great. They add to my repertoire and my wardrobe, and they feel fantastic. Now, listen, if you're a little heavier than you want to be, it's okay because the jeans expand with you. They got this special material that I don't know how they scientifically do it, but it grows with you. So if you're a few pounds, I don't know, heavier than you want to be, it's okay. And then if you're able to get back in shape, that's cool too, because they don't look too baggy. And by the way, if you have a few extra pounds, it's not a big deal. Like, it happens. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you want to feel good and you want to feel confident. So go order your MUGSY jeans. And the thing I love most about them is that they got a vast array of colors. Okay. So if you want to go and be a little extra spicy and get something that's like green or red or yellow, whatever color, they've got that for you. So go to MUGSY.com. The code word is today. You're going to get 10% off your entire order. You will feel sexy. You will look sexy as well. Players of the month for April: Arenado and Jose Ramirez. Your pitchers of the month: Pablo Lopez, Logan Gilbert. Your rookies: Seiya Suzuki and Steven Kwan. Which of those 6 players has the best shot of winning MVP, Cy Young, or Rookie of the Year?
This one was a pretty easy answer for me. I want to shout out Logan and Pablo for just kind of flying super under the radar and having great seasons. We know Arenado, we know Jose Ramirez. You know, I think Jose is going to have a tough time with Trout and Ohtani going. Maybe they take votes away from each other, but I think Seiya Suzuki and what he's done and like the ability that he has, I believe he's got like the best shot at National League Rookie of the Year. I don't know what the numbers are on that. Dan, can you check that out? What does DraftKings have him at right now? Do you have it, Chris?
I don't, but
Dan will get it up. But so, I mean, if you're looking at the stats, guy's got a 926 OPS right now, already 15 RBIs. He's already amassed 0.8 WAR. Like, he's going to be a guy in the lineup every single day, and I think he's going to be productive. And you just, when you have a guy like that, like, I don't want to call it like kind of like cheating because he's not like a young rookie. Like, he's been in professional at the top level for a long time, but I think he's got a real shot at winning this thing. I think it's kind of his to lose.
It's funny because in 2001, when Ichiro came over here at like age 27 and he won Rookie of the Year over my guy CC Sabathia, I was like, fuck this. That ain't fair. That guy's been killing it as a pro over in Japan. I got a 20-year-old out there trying to, you know, work our way in the playoffs and all that sort of stuff. And make it worse, we actually lost to the Mariners in the playoffs that year, so it didn't help us. I'll also go with Seiya for one other reason. And he is the favorite right now. Good job, Dan. Way to look it up. It's not even close. There's no other competition in the National League except for Mackenzie Gore. Like, that's it. And he's pitched great so far in his 3 starts, a 1.76 ERA, 20 Ks in 15 innings, ERA plus of 2.08. But we talked about it earlier. The Padres are going to a 6-man rotation. And if at some point they have to trim that down to 5, once Clevenger kind of gets his legs under him, and if Blake Snell ever comes back for them, who, by the way, I'm not so sure they wouldn't be against moving. I'm just saying that Gore's going to have to pitch every 5 days. Like, you don't want that guy. They're not going to stick with a 6-man rotation. They have too many veterans in this thing. Like, you think Joe Musgrove is going to be like, you want me to pitch every 6 days? Like, I've been doing great here. You think Yu Darvish is going to want to pitch every 6 days? That ain't going to work. So somebody's going to have to go.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy if like he has to go down just because he has options. That's not how you want to operate a team. The 6-man rotation I talked about, I don't believe in the 6-man rotation just because guys, especially a veteran laden rotation like this is, have never done that, or at least they're not really used to it. Maybe once in a while they had done it, but it's 5 days. Get on your routine.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to move somebody. Like, they can send somebody down, but they're still going to have to move somebody, whether it's moving to the bullpen or send somebody down. I hope it's not Gore. That's not fair to him.
All right, last thing. Thumbs up or thumbs down for the kid who promoted in Chicago that he skipped school in order to get an afternoon selfie with Mike Trout?
I think it's brutal. You got to go to school.
Whoa!
No, I'm just kidding. Are you fucking kidding me? No, go to a baseball game. You're not gonna remember your like a random Monday in 4th grade, dude. But you're gonna remember for the rest of your life that you got to meet Mike Trout.
Well,
whatever he's in, doesn't matter.
I'm not talking about the idea of skipping school. Everybody skips school at some point, although I was the nerd back then. So he put a big sign that says, I skipped school to take a selfie with Mike Trout. Do you promote it?
Yeah, because it got Mike Trout's attention, right? If he just had a sign that said Mike Trout, like, he sees a lot of those, but if he sees that you put some effort into coming to watch him play, I think that catches the eye. And, dad's probably gonna have to answer some questions, or mom's gonna have to answer some questions there from the teachers, maybe. But I think it's gonna be okay. If, in my opinion, I'm a parent too. I'll take my kids out of school to go to a game, to go to Disneyland, whatever experiences you want to experience. Go ahead, people.
Yes, I'm with you. But on top of that, if I were the teacher, I would ask that kid to do a full report on game plan, philosophy. I want to like a term paper on when this idea was crafted, how you went about it, what your feelings were when Mike Trout saw the sign. Like, I want you to turn it into an assignment.
Why are you always giving people homework, bro? What's up with that?
What's the matter with that, though? Because it's not okay to just skip school. I'm trying to turn it into it. If you want to turn it into a learning experience, then I want to see what you learned. What's the matter with that?
All right, maybe an oral presentation. This guy doesn't need to write anything. I'm totally like,
right. No, you need to write. You need to write. You should be writing every day of your life.
First
People
of all,
that are listening, you need to write.
You should be typing. You should be typing,
right,
because nobody writes
that's
anymore.
Writing. You know what I'm talking about.
You went like this.
Well,
for people on the AMP app, he did.
There you go.
He did the pen thing.
I'm a wonderful typist. Mrs. Bresnicki's 8th grade typing class was the best class I ever took, because now I just fire off stuff left and right.
Okay.
All right. What do you have coming up on John Boy Media?
You're the best. Look, we got Talking Base on recording. It comes out tomorrow. We're doing our all JM team for the month of April. We're handing out pedals for people to put in their little silver daisy. Only Talking Baseball fans know what I'm talking about. So we'll do that. And then maybe we'll look out for some content that you and I put together today at the game. What do you got?
We'll see. Let's see here. Mud Grant, Padres announcer. That one is out. Everybody loves it. He's just a wonderful storyteller. So go check that one out. Recorded with Glass now yesterday. He obviously did not make the trip out west as he continues to rehab from his arm surgery. We check in on him. He's living in a new place. Like, he's done 3 shows this year. He's lived in 3 different places. It's amazing. He's just one of a kind. He's so funny. He makes me laugh. His presentation is it's awesome. So that's coming out on Thursday. Yeah, he's always good. And thank you very much for listening. Special shout out to our producer extraordinaire for the day, the one and only Dan Rourke, who's crutching gallons of water behind him. He's changing his body. He's gone gluten-free. He's getting off the wacky stuff. I love it. Trevor Plouffe, I will see you tomorrow. So thank you very much for tuning in once again to Baseball Today.